This is us enjoying a beautiful view of the Grand Canyon from Matter Point. This is the Grand Canyon Depot, that's the Grand Canyon Railway, and this is my wife who's in for a harder hike than she expected as we go for a hike up to Matter Point without any assisted hiking devices for wheelchair users. We are in the middle of our trip with the Grand Canyon Railway. This is the second video of the series. In this trip, we're going to try out public transit for the first time, and we invite you to join us for the trip, for the hike, to check out the accessibility features of the Grand Canyon. Stick around to the end. There is a squirrel fight you won't want to miss out on.
We're going to go up the hill?
We're going up the hill.
All right,
Here we go. Welcome to the Grand Canyon.
I'm so glad they made me ramp.
Yeah. It is awesome that the Grand Canyon has so many paved trails and paths where you can get along just fine in a wheelchair.
And I remember my gloves.
Hey!
I'm going to make coming down this hill much more fun.
Little did Vanessa know that it would in fact help that she had her wheelchair gloves, because the amount of elevation that we would cover today would be pretty substantial in a manual wheelchair without some form of a power assist. Where is that bus stop? Is it up or down? And it was at this moment that we realized going uphill would be very hard. We needed to find a bus on the downhill path. So we pivoted our original plan and descended downhill to find a bus stop, even though that bus stop was actually a little harder than we expected to find, as you will see. I hope we're actually going to a bus stop. I'm a little concerned we're not.
Yeah, we can just go.
There's a blue line over there.
Okay, let's go over there.
Okay, I'd feel okay about that. One of the things we didn't really expect was visibility. As you can see, is a little cut off for somebody in a wheelchair. I could see things my wife couldn't see as we were walking on some of the paths, and that posed a very interesting challenge for us. A good team building strategy of learning to communicate, find the curb cuts that we need when paths ended, as paths frequently did. However, we figured out a way to communicate, and we got some breathtaking views that you don't get many places in the world. Look at that train. That was a bit on the frustrating side.
Yes, I had a paraplegic grief moment.
We were rolling along.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see some of the footage of the rolling along to get to the bus stop.
There was a couple points, so we were like trying to figure out where exactly to go, because you get to the bus stop on one side and it goes around this big old loop before it goes all the way back to the digital center. And so we're like, oh, let's go to this. If we go over here, it catches it on the loop back, so you don't have to go on the other loop.
And we were trying to save some time.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't want to go up a big hill. So up a big hill, not as much fun, lots of work. Yeah. I'm okay doing some work, but not as hard.
Today's more relaxing.
That was the hope. And so we were trying to do the public transit thing at the Grand Canyon as paraplegic for the first time.
Yeah.
And we saw a bus, they let people out. We were not far away trying to catch up, and the bus turned its blinker on and just jetted.
If I was walking, we would have caught that bus.
Yeah. And if I wasn't so concerned, because Vanessa had like a Castor got caught moment,
yeah,
then we would have caught it easily. So, well, there we go. That's part of the adventure.
Sometimes you miss a bus.
Sometimes you miss a bus.
15 minutes.
Yep. Setting in nature,
time.
And it's beautiful out here. So, it is close to a road though. Less beautiful than the actual canyon.
I'm excited to see the canyon.
I'm excited to see the canyon.
And I
too.
feel styling today.
You're styling.
Got my glasses, my hat,
Yeah.
my cool shirt.
My wife can't walk at all, paraplegic.
Okay, that's fine.
Do y'all have a ramp?
I just needed to know what you need.
Thank you.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
As soon as it comes down, come on in.
All right. Nice.
I know it sounds silly, but that was pretty marvelous seeing the bus kneel down and then pop a ramp out. Vanessa needed a little bit of an assist to get in, but we were able to get in, and the bus driver was super nice in helping us figure out where the wheelchair went, as well as clearing out a space that is automatically cleared out for those people that need that space, which we found quite comforting on this trip, and found out that the transportation via Grand Canyon Railway was really easy to do to get to and from hiking spots. And our bus driver was amazing, helping us get in and out, unlocking the wheelchair, making this process really simple. Pretty easy. All right, I think we want to go left. The transit system was the easiest part of this hike. Super simple. Now comes the hard part where we are going to hike from the visitor center up to Matter Point. This hike should, in theory, be a very easy hike. If you're looking at the pocket map, there is no elevation change noted. However, that being said, I think you're going to see through the video that there is a bit of elevation change. And if you're in a wheelchair, there's a lot of elevation change. So, as we're hiking along, you'll see sections where I am assisting my wife because at this point in time, we didn't have a power assist that would help her as she pushed along up long, continuous inclines, which is what this trail is. I don't know why I would start reading signs now. Just kidding. Sorry.
Do you mind giving an assist?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Thanks.
Of course, the Grand Canyon is no joke.
This is no joke. I'm like, for what we did today, I could use the
E-assist.
behind the deal.
Yeah.
And that would be the right tool.
Well, and it wouldn't be as hard getting up this.
Oh man, nope.
What did you do today? Uphill.
Oh man.
Both ways.
Yeah.
Though there was a bit of joking about going uphill, we finally made it to a point where it started to level out and the end goal was in sight. That is beautiful views of the Grand Canyon. And it made all that uphill very much worth the effort and time, and we were so blessed that there was enough paved trail where we were able to do it in just a manual wheelchair without any adaptations. One of the things I love about the Grand Canyon is just looking out on the sea of land that seems to go on for miles and miles and miles. It really is much like the first time you ever get to see an ocean where you can't see a shoreline, but all you see is shoreline for the most part. So enjoy a quick time lapse of our spot at the Grand Canyon during this trip. And this natural beauty is one that a lot of people actually want to see. So if you expect a trip to the Grand Canyon to be just you and the canyon, you might be a bit shocked and surprised at just how many people want to see the wonder and the beauty and majesty of the Grand Canyon. So be ready for a few crowds. Also, take a little bit of time to pause and enjoy nature. You never know if you're going to meet a squirrel friend, and if that squirrel and you might end up fighting over not feeding it because you're not supposed to feed the wildlife.
Nope, nope, nope. Not on my feet.
So we did the right thing. We didn't feed the squirrel.
Hey, don't drink my water.
But this squirrel definitely wanted a drink of the water or some of our snacks, and I think he got a little testy toward us at the end.
Oh my goodness. Hey, no, this is my chair.
Thank you so much for joining us on this hike and adventure as we enjoyed the Grand Canyon and went to Matter Point using public service transportation provided by our National Park Services. And thank you to the Park Service staff for being so friendly and making this experience just top notch. It was amazing. And for the trails, many trails that exist that are accessible to everyone and lots of people at the Grand Canyon. We want to invite you to check out different parts of the series. It's a 3-part series. Part 1 is a train ride with the Grand Canyon Railroad. Part 3 is staying at the Grand Canyon Hotel, and we're going to talk about accessibility. It's the first time we've got the chance to stay at a hotel post-surgery, spinal cord surgery. So join us for that. If you like this channel, I want to invite you to like and subscribe to it. It'll help us out and help us get content out to people. And as we like to say around here, on to adventure.